Uncover the shocking black market deals that shaped history. From nuclear secrets to blood diamonds, these untold stories will leave you speechless. Don't miss out on how these criminal networks changed the world forever. Watch now and be in the know. Nuclear secrets. In the 1970s, a brilliant Pakistani scientist, Dr. A.Q. Khan, began a secretive journey that would forever change the global balance of power. Khan, initially working for a European company in the Netherlands, gained access to highly sensitive nuclear information. By the time he returned to Pakistan in 1976, his knowledge and ambition had grown exponentially. In 1980, he began sharing this classified nuclear technology with Libya, Iran, and North Korea. The black market for nuclear secrets was born. Khan used his connections to establish a covert network that would smuggle highly sensitive materials and equipment across borders, making it impossible for governments to track and stop them. The world was unaware of the scale of these deals until 2004, when Khan was caught and confessed. It was revealed that his network had helped countries that were seeking nuclear weapons, despite international laws prohibiting such activities. Pakistan's government had denied any knowledge of his actions, but the evidence was undeniable. This black market deal didn't just sell equipment and knowledge, it sold the future of nuclear war. What Khan did was nothing short of catastrophic. His actions posed a global risk as countries with unstable regimes gained access to weapons of mass destruction. Despite being caught, the damage had been done, and the black market for nuclear technology remained a dangerous shadow over international security. In the end, Dr. A.Q. Khan became known as the man who nearly turned the world's nuclear balance upside down. His trade in nuclear secrets would forever be remembered as one of the most infamous black market deals in history. Iran-Contra. In the 1980s, a covert operation took place that would forever alter the course of U.S. politics. It was called the Iran-Contra Affair, a secret deal that involved illegal arms sales, international conspiracy, and the violation of U.S. laws. At the heart of the scandal was the U.S. government's decision to secretly sell weapons to Iran, despite the fact that the country was under an arms embargo. The deal was arranged by senior members of the Reagan administration, including Oliver North, a Marine Corps officer who became a key figure in the scandal. Iran was embroiled in the Iran-Iraq War and needed arms to defend itself, but the U.S. government, officially, could not provide them due to the embargo. The black market deal was put in motion to bypass these restrictions. The most controversial part of the operation was the way the profits were funneled. The weapons sold to Iran helped fund the Contras, a rebel group in Nicaragua fighting the Sandinista government, which was left-wing and had ties to the Soviet Union. This was a direct violation of the Boland Amendment, which prohibited U.S. funds from supporting the Contras. By 1986, the scandal began to unravel when a cargo plane carrying arms was shot down in Nicaragua, and investigations began. Eventually, the story broke to the public, causing shockwaves around the world. Several high-ranking officials were indicted, but most received pardons, and the affair faded from the headlines. The Iran-Contra affair remains one of the most infamous black market deals in history, exposing the corruption within the U.S. government and showing how far some would go to fund a foreign conflict. Human organs. The illegal black market for human organs has been one of the most shocking and immoral trades in modern history. It involves the exploitation of vulnerable individuals, often from impoverished backgrounds, who are either coerced or tricked into selling their organs, or are victims of abductions. The organs, including kidneys, livers, and corneas, are then sold to wealthy buyers who are desperate for transplants. This illicit trade has been active for decades, with India, China, and Pakistan being some of the hotspots where the black market thrives. In the 1990s, the scale of the trade expanded as countries struggled to keep up with the growing demand for organ transplants. Criminal syndicates, working with corrupt doctors, hospital staff, and middlemen, created networks that spanned continents. The organs could be sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars, while the donors often received a fraction of that amount, and in many cases, nothing at all. One of the most infamous cases occurred in 2007 in India, where a large-scale organ trafficking operation was uncovered. A network of hospitals, surgeons, and middlemen was arrested for conducting illegal transplants. Poor individuals were coerced into donating their kidneys, often with false promises of financial compensation, and the organs were sold to wealthy foreigners, especially from the Middle East. Despite efforts by governments and international organizations to curb the trade, it remains a thriving industry in many parts of the world. The human organ black market continues to exploit the desperate and vulnerable, creating a dark underworld that profits from human suffering. The stories of those affected are chilling reminders of the dangers of black market dealings in the medical field. Blood diamonds. During the 1990s, the trade in blood diamonds became one of the most notorious black market dealings in history. These diamonds, mined under brutal conditions, funded violent conflicts and fueled wars in Sierra Leone, Liberia, and other parts of West Africa. Warlords and rebel groups controlled the mines, forcing workers into slave-like conditions to extract the precious stones, which were then sold to fund arms and further violence. The term blood diamonds emerged as the world became more aware of the connection between the diamond trade and civil wars. In Sierra Leone, the Revolutionary United Front, RUF, used diamond profits to purchase weapons, terrorizing civilians, committing atrocities, and prolonging the country's brutal civil war. The diamonds were smuggled out and sold on international markets, often through intermediaries who laundered the origins of the gems. By 2000, international outrage over the blood diamond trade led to the establishment of the Kimberley process, a certification system designed to prevent conflict diamonds from entering the global market. However, the success of the Kimberley process was limited as illegal diamonds continued to flow through loopholes and corrupt officials. The black market deal surrounding blood diamonds highlighted the exploitation of resources in conflict zones and how easily they could be turned into weapons of war. The suffering of millions of innocent people was tied directly to this illicit trade, which, despite efforts to curb it, continues to stain the diamond industry's reputation. Opium trade. The opium trade in Southeast Asia, particularly in the Golden Triangle, where Myanmar, Thailand, and Laos meet, became one of the most infamous black market dealings of the 20th century. For decades, opium was grown in this region, fueling both addiction and organized crime. The drug trade was controlled by powerful criminal syndicates and warlords, who profited immensely from the opium poppies cultivated in the region's remote mountains. By the 1960s, the Golden Triangle had become the world's largest producer of opium. The illegal drug was smuggled through numerous routes to global markets, particularly to the United States and Europe, where the demand for heroin was rising. The profits from the opium trade funded not only organized crime, but also violent insurgencies, as rebel groups used the money to fuel wars in the region. In the 1970s, the CIA was even linked to the opium trade in an attempt to fund anti-communist forces in Southeast Asia. This covert involvement helped exacerbate the growth of the black market trade in opium. Despite efforts by governments and international organizations to curb its production, the trade remained a powerful and profitable business for decades. The opium trade in the Golden Triangle contributed to the addiction of millions, the destabilization of entire countries, and the rise of criminal empires. Even though efforts have been made to eradicate opium production in the region, it remains a dark chapter in the history of the global black market. You won't believe how criminals are using social media to plan their next move. Don't miss our next video on this mind-blowing topic. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, so you're always ahead of the game with the latest shocking stories.